Hi, everybody. I'm really excited today. My name is Heather Wild Smith. I am a sales coach for people who hate sales. And this lovely lady is Cynthia Micallef. She is an empowerment business coach helping women to build their businesses with focus and balance. And we met a month or so ago now and have had some conversations. Cynthia is a really cool person. I'm definitely interested in doing business with a high degree of integrity and, in her marketing and her sales, which of course I admire greatly. And she's going to be talking to us today about how to build your business and keep your Zen, which is very important. So, hey, Cynthia.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me to come and talk here. I'm so excited.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming in. I came into your group and we had a lovely chat. I think we ended up yakking for like an hour.
It was amazing. And then after as well, after we switched the live off.
We talked quite a bit. So we have a really nice vibe between us, and I think you're really going to enjoy talking to Cynthia today. She's got a fantastic Facebook group that is called.
Hub for Driven Entrepreneurs.
Say that one more time.
Hub for Driven Entrepreneurs.
Perfect. I think your internet might have cut out for a second. Yeah, so she's got this great Facebook group and she's got a group program that she's running right now. And she's all about helping women. So you said your focus has shifted a little bit and now you're have gone more into the empowerment part. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, it always happens. I like learning by taking action. In fact, I just did a live this afternoon about that in my group. I like learning by taking action. So we start, I wanted to start as a business coach. And then what I'm finding is that the way I'm really inspiring people, and I should have known this, right? But it kind of clicks after a few times. I really am learning that the way I'm inspiring people or the members in my community is number one is to take action because I'm big on taking action. That's my superpower and being brave. And so I'm helping them with the confidence as well. So taking action, but actually feeling confident in, for example, starting live, doing live streams or being more visible or even just starting your own Facebook group. Whatever it is, I'm really empowering to do that. So that's how I found it out.
That's great. And I love that, because we'll try to sometimes strategy is not enough. Like finding a strategy that works is definitely key. But you don't have that empowerment if you don't have that confidence, then it makes taking action really difficult.
Yes, it's really difficult. And it is a daily exercise, however, right? So we can do some work and we can do some homework about it and some mindset training, as we all know. But it's an everyday training because we might start like feeling super confident about something. And as you well know, very well know, is that when we start getting no's in the sales, for example, or things happen, on social media. We're all on social media. The more visible we are, more things can happen, and then it just gets crushed every single day. So it's how to do that every day. How to keep on top of things, keep on top of your confidence every day. And this is why I like talking about my Zen. Business building business the Zen way, because it helps me with my confidence. I know it's not directly related, but that's how it helps me with my confidence.
I I can definitely see a correlation because when we're not in Zen, when we are stressed, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling anxious, all of those things are, forms of fear, and fear really wrecks your confidence. So teaching women how to connect with their confidence and also um, build their business in a way that keeps them in touch with their Zen is yeah, it's going to help them to show up, and be more empowered. I totally see the connection.
Yes, totally. So one of the pillars of the Zen framework that I came up with
Hmm.
is focus, and I'm quite big on focus
Hmm.
because I see a lot of people, like, shall I say, people, women on social media. Um, First starting, for example, their businesses on Facebook, and then they go on Instagram, and then they go on LinkedIn, because I've heard that this gets more engagement, and I've heard that this gets more engagement, and we're not focusing. Actually, we're overwhelming ourselves. It's just like too much noise. And I receive those messages, like, why should I join your group? I'm already having too much noise, and they're kind of right. And by focusing, we are in our narrow path, still learning and still knowing what's going on, but we are just going in our narrow path, and just absorbing what we need. But also, the way I talk about confidence is how we work, how we structure our day, how we structure. If a lot of our work is on Facebook, social media, if we're building our businesses, part of the marketing is building it there. How do we not get overwhelmed? How do we keep on, mentally stable, right? Because it
Yeah.
affects our brain, and being 7 days on there. So the way I teach is being focused, having very set times that we work on certain things, and
Hmm.
then we let go. Like, we work on something. For example, I am content creating. First thing that I like doing content creating myself. First thing in the morning, I create my content, and I switch off everything, switch off all the notifications, all the pinging messages, and all of that. Because otherwise, it's like, what? Look what she's doing, and look what she's doing. Um, and when I started working in this way, my confidence just shot up because I stopped comparing myself. Basically, I stopped comparing myself to other business coaches who have been doing the same thing, who have been doing their business coaching for like 10 years. So of
Right.
course, they're making a lot more money than I am. They have a lot more followers. um, so I stopped comparing myself. I still know what they're doing because I want to learn from them, and it's good to know what others are doing, but how to work in a focused way so we keep going, because we need to be sustainable in the long term. This we're not doing this for a short time. So how do we do it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned that focus was one of the four pillars.
Yes.
This is backwards. This is it always messes me up. Can you give us like a brief overview, like where focus is in that four and what the other three are?
So I always actually focus is the second one. First one is first one is alignment. So I get my inspiration from yoga philosophy, because my basis is yoga. I spent a long time, studying yoga and yoga business for like 20 years and so forth. So I get all my inspiration from yoga philosophy. And what I've realized is actually all these philosophies are very practical. It's
Hmm.
what's actually all the business and marketing is based. That's where they come from. So it's super super interesting,
Okay.
and that's where, yes, it's really interesting, and that's where alignment comes. So the I don't want to say guru, because even he doesn't talk about himself as a guru, but the spiritual master. I got this. Sorry.
I was you found it spiritual.
Yes, spiritual master. I got this from. He talks about the power of the heart.
Mm.
And it's the same as someone says your why or your North Star or your genius. But for me, that spoke to me more, because every time someone said, you need to know your why and your why. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I spent like 20 years in corporate, in banking and finance, and
God.
yes, in the big major banks. I basically worked in all the big banks. So I
Wow.
lost my
I would
sensitivity.
about you.
Sorry.
I can't.
No, no.
I can't imagine you. I can imagine you in that environment. I can't imagine you being happy in that environment. That's wow. Wow.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. But
And so when you are working for so long in something that you are not fulfilled, that you are not aligned, you lose that sensitivity, you lose that connection to your why. So it took me like years and years and years and years to find it. But I never stopped searching. And that's really hit a note for me, like the power of our hearts, the power of your heart. It really, really stood out for me, because sometimes I think when we hear different words, no, they like link to us more. So the power of the heart, like it's so important, of course, in any business, that we are aligned to what we are doing. Right. So it's not just about passion, but having our big why. So for example, for someone, it might be to inspire people from poor backgrounds to make as much money as they can. You know, that is available. For me, the power of my heart is financial independence for women. So whether that's financial independence from their husbands after they had children, for example, if they stopped working, or financial independence from their corporate job, whatever that means, for me, that's like my why. If I'm helping women to be financially independent on their own, that's like really, for me, this is why I wake up every day. And then when it becomes powerful is that when we're having challenging days, we're like, oh, well, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I'm throwing everything out of the window. I'm closing my computer, throwing it away. And then you connect to it and you're like, I remember now. Like that's what it is. So I keep on going. Like I take a break and I keep on going. And then focus is the second one. I'm looking a little bit at my notes so I don't get confused. And then number 3 is balance. So this is quite obvious, right? So how not to burn out, this helps with the focus as well. So how to work in a focused way, and then how to have balance. So I put my hand up. I need to do a bit more of that. So I'm starting to incorporate a little bit more, because I can just work like a machine. I can just work. But I can burn out, you know, if I keep on going. So I'm totally making time, going back to my yoga roots, meditation, whatever meditation can mean for anyone. So meditation can mean, you know, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, or hours, whatever. Or it can just mean like going for a walk by yourself in a quiet space, or just spending some time in a quiet space. Because some people just get a bit nervous about the word meditation, you know. So whatever it means for you. And it could mean journaling. It just like a time in your day without any phones, you know, especially without any phones, without any pinging, any distractions of the kids and so forth. So just spending some time in a quiet space. And then again, balance is what we eat, what we drink, and movement as well. So whatever movement is, so like my movement of choice is yoga, but for someone else can be walking, can be anything, running, cycling, swimming, whatever it is. So we need to keep on moving. And by doing this, then we're performing at a higher level as well. So I totally feel it when I'm not doing yoga. I totally feel that my energy is off, my back starts hurting me, you know, things just start not working out the way they should, not flowing, you know, like things are not flowing the way they should. And then what I wanted to also talk about, two things actually, is sleeping, and detox, digital detox is what I mean. So like this weekend I spent Sunday with no phone and no computers. So nice. So nice. So we need it, especially in today's social media world, you know, like we need that time to totally detox before we go to sleep. What I sometimes do, which I love, when I do it, I don't look at my messages or at my phone when I wake up. Like I do it when the kids are off to school. After that, then I can look at the phone. So I have those few hours with like nothing, no distractions, no like, oh, you know, they haven't messaged me and all of that. And then it's discipline. So I know this is quite a yoga thing, but in terms of discipline, but of course we need discipline. So discipline is, sometimes especially when we are our own boss, we just don't feel like showing up. We just don't
Mhm.
feel like, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But sometimes we just need to be disciplined because there's no one telling us you need to do it.
Mhm.
So on it depends on your goals and on your lifestyle goals. But there is no point if you say, I want to hit 10K months in the next 6 months, and then you're not showing up, you're not being disciplined. So
Right.
your goals and what you want to achieve, not just in money terms, but also in lifestyle. So for example, if I want to achieve, you say, 5,000 in the next 3 months, but I only want to work 3 days a week. It is
Mhm.
possible, but in the beginning you have to work a little bit harder. So you have to realize that, and you have
Mhm.
to be disciplined. Um,
That's where having a business coach really comes in handy.
mm,
That mentorship. I mean, for all of the things that you're discussing, I mean, this is really priceless, for anyone. And a lot of what you're talking about is so funny that we're talking today. It's the universe beating me over the head with the same message that it's been beating me over the head with for like the last week about this, turn off the phone and focus and the balance. I'm really good at sleeping. I like to sleep. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is a great framework that you have for really helping people, and I can see that it's not only going to help take them a lot further in their business, but it's also going to give them a higher quality of life, better relationships with their family and their friends and their kids, and all of these things. So this is really brilliant. I love what you've put together. um,
yes,
but the discipline part, more, well, I don't know, it can be really hard to discipline ourselves not to work 24 hours a day when we're entrepreneurs too, you know
yes. So, yeah,
so it's you're giving such an amazing value to everyone who's coming in contact with you. I mean, this is amazing, Cynthia.
thank you. So as I said, right, I'm getting these inspirations from my coaches, but the Zen Success Framework is from the yoga philosophy, and it's amazing how practical it is and how it can transfer. So I don't do all of them all the time. So,
Sure.
I'm very disciplined, I'm very focused, and I'm aligned, but I need to work on my balance. And I'm like realizing it, like, okay, I need to work more on my balance. I need to work on discipline, as you said, the opposite of not working all the time.
Right.
So it's work in progress, right? It's not
Sure.
like one day you're gonna wake up. And also what we bear in mind is that we take it step by step, little baby steps. So instead of waking up tomorrow and do it all together tomorrow, we just take baby steps. We just
Yeah.
take baby steps until it becomes natural to us. Um,
Mhm.
and I think also during holidays, especially,
Mhm.
or we can let go a little bit of this, right? Like we can let go a little bit of all of this when we're on holiday, when we're not working so much. So I really think is like it's good to implement this is when we're in focused work. So say for example, you say I'm going to have 8 weeks to my launch of the program, so I'm going to implement this. I'm going to be disciplined in implementing this for 8 weeks.
Mhm.
um, but actually, I enjoy it more. I am a much better person. I'm happier when I start implementing this because I'm not looking at my phones when the kids come from school, and when we're out, sometimes I leave the phone at home, for example. So it just works better, really. It does work, even though sometimes it might be like, oh, this is too much for me to do, but it actually does work better.
I can see that. I actually, for the first time, like this past Saturday, took Messenger and Facebook off of my iPad. Because I love my iPad. It's my favorite toy. I read on it. I go online on it. But I really wanted to focus and get a lot done, and I was so much more productive. And I have the notifications turned off on Facebook, but I have them on for Messenger And I'm looking at, I've got a second iPad, and I think that I'm going to take my social media apps off of my main iPad that I use to write content and stuff, and just have it on this second device so that when it's time for me to post, I can post from that older device. I can just transfer the content over there and post it. But my main device that I use, my meditation apps are on there. So much of what enriches my life is on this iPad, but I let the social media really distract me, and I have felt burned out. So I really hitting a lot of points. I know if I'm going through it, there's a lot of people that are having these problems. And obviously this is something that it sounds like you created it, like so much of what we do, because it was a problem you were having, and you were like, okay, nothing out here is fixing this that I found. I'm going to fix it myself.
Yes, exactly, because I felt it, but also I run yoga retreats also in,
Mm-hmm.
when COVID, pre-COVID, or hopefully post-COVID. Next year. And the number one issue from, all the yoga retreats participants was digital detox, using the phone too much, I mean. So, and they know it, we all know it. And most of my retreats clients came from city, London, Amsterdam, from being in a city in a corporate environment.
Yeah.
And they all said it's the phone. And I offered them a basket, saying, do you want to put it in a basket? And even one day. And it's amazing how hard it is. It's amazing how many people say no to it.
Yeah.
Yes, because they are scared of, telephones from their family, from their kids, from their work, and so forth. It's really one of the hardest things to do, is letting go of the phone, even for one day. And so I realized that's the phone and sleeping, actually.
Yes.
And sleeping, both of them. And I think they're related. They are totally related.
I think they can be, because you have this light in your face. I know that I sleep better if I will get away from a computer screen about an hour before bed. I know that I sleep much better. I don't always do it. But I do like to sleep. I'm not one of these people who aspires to 4 hours of sleep a night. That's just,
oh God, no. Like, I'm in a hotel room, and you know how they close everything in hotel, and they put the heating up. So I put it right down to 16. I'm sorry, in the US it's different, but we are in Celsius here. 16 Celsius. I put it down. I open the window, and I just leave it. And I just slept. So I had no children jumping on me this morning. Oh my God. I had such a productive day.
Your kids are so cute. But not when they're jumping on you when you're trying to sleep.
Yes. And so I had a full night's sleep, with the cool temperature room. And I was like, wow, this is what sleep does to you. No 4 hours sleep. No, 8 hours plus, please. Give me more.
Yeah, I mean, it's so vital. I have a client right now that I love her dearly, and I admire her level and continuing to show up. But I'm like, 7 hours and 48 hours is not enough sleep, and I'm like, but different people have different values, and I get that. But we do so often. I remember when I was in recovery, and they would talk about you go to your sponsor and you're like, oh my God, like I'm having such a crap day and blah, 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 blah. And your sponsor would tell you to like go eat something and take a nap. And you would want to kill them because you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then you would go eat something and take a nap and feel like a brand new person. We really underestimate, because it sounds so simple. Like, put good things in your body and rest. And it sounds simple, but when you do it, you're like, oh wow.
Yes, it's so simple. And we don't need all these gadgets. This is a remote control, it's not a gadget. And we don't need all these gadgets. I know that they can help some of us, the gadgets, to sleep and stuff like that. But it is as simple as that. It is really as simple as that. Putting good things in our body, and not too much phones and electronics. and getting a good night's sleep when we can. I know we have young kids, right? So when my kids were really young, I didn't sleep well for 3 years probably,
Wow.
So it's if we are parents, that's going to take a hit.
Yeah. 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 That was one of the things I was like, I don't want to have, I never wanted to have kids unless I could have like two live-in nannies.
That
So
question came when I wanted a third. I was like, I'm only having a third, which I didn't have a third. I'm only having a third if I can afford to put time.
yeah, it's like I got to be able to. I wouldn't push my child completely off onto another human being. Like I would be there to care for my child, but I gotta sleep. So you are running a group program right now, and you're going to be launching it again in a few weeks. Do you want to tell everybody about it and maybe how they could pre-apply?
Yay! So it's Get Clarity, Get Clients 6 months program, and it's going to be live. I deliver all my programs live, obviously recorded, so you have the recorded sessions, and it's a hybrid program. So it is a group program and with one-to-one coaching as well.
Love it.
Um, and so it's one coaching session per month, and it's all about basically it's all about getting clear not just about your messaging and about your story, which is like super important, but I am really strong on getting clear on your goals, because I really think that unless we have very realistic and achievable goals, then we don't get there. We don't really know what we're aiming for. So that's number one. So I'm saying financial and lifestyle goals, not just financial.
Correct.
Um, and number two is getting clarity on who we are. So getting clarity on who you are. So what I mean is getting clarity on your character, on what you want to show to the world, what you want to show to your ideal clients, how you want to show up. Because as we all know, social media is super busy and it's all about connection, and it's people buy from people. And how are you going to come out as unique? And this is the way you come out as unique. You are unique. We are all unique.
Yeah.
But we have to make the homework. We have to do the homework on building that up, basically. So you do the character and then we multiply it, and then that's how you are unique. So I have a module on that, and it's super powerful. I love doing it. So that's the clarity part. And then it's how to get a client. So either one-to-one clients, it depends what you're working on, one-to-one clients, group program, if you want to launch a group program or a done-for-you service, how to build your social media content, build your audience, because I'm very big on that. Also build an audience, engaging the audience, and then how you sell to them. So going all the way through to getting clarity on your messaging and who you are, up to the point of launching and selling.
Perfect. Well, and I love it. I love that hybrid, style, where people have the opportunity to learn in the group, and then they get those implementation, where they can really get like a lot of their questions answered. And I'm sure that is there a private Facebook group for the program as well? Okay, so they can get questions answered in between sessions there.
Totally. Exactly. I do a private Facebook group because I love the group dynamic. The group dynamic of the live, when I do it live, do the program live, the module live, because we have question and answers after anyway, but also the group dynamic in the Facebook group. And I love that. And then, of course, everyone needs one-to-one. I think everyone needs that time to really go over their issues as well. So I love the whole thing.
Yeah. That's that high level of accountability. And I don't know anyone who's made it, who's actually crossed that line and gotten into orbit, as a coach or a healer or online service provider, who didn't have some sort of one-to-one help. Like it really is crucial. Courses can be really helpful. Group programs can be helpful, but yeah, I love that you're giving the one-to-one, because that makes the biggest difference at the end of the day, I believe.
Yes. because
Yeah.
that's exactly what I am doing. I mean, group programs. I do small courses sometimes, recorded if I need to just learn something small. I'm like
Mhm.
very focused, and also one to one. But also, I've just finished, well, a few months ago. I just finished a group program, and it was
Mhm.
quite big. And I see that some have done it, but
Mhm.
it's so some have like implemented and are making money. And when that's the case, they usually started the business a while back, so they kind of knew what to do. They just needed that bit.
Yeah.
And they have an audience. They already have an
Mhm.
audience. So they have either
Right.
a big Facebook group or big email list or whatever.
Mhm.
But the people who are just starting, they're lost. They're a bit lost,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's I was like, this is it. It's the hybrid. That's
Yeah.
that's what works.
Well, and one of the things I think we talked about it during your live, and I've talked about it a lot. In the group programs, often you buy into the group program, and then you're given an option to upgrade to either a smaller mastermind or even to one. And so, a lot of the people who get the amazing results from these big group programs got those upgrades. They went ahead and invested further in themselves, and that's fantastic. But the testimonials, we don't hear that part of it. We just hear this person went through this program and they got these amazing results, and it's like it's a little bit more. Yes, they did, and there's a little bit more to the story, you know. So and a lot of times as well, even though a lot of programs are marketed to brand new entrepreneurs, they use testimonials of people who were more established when they went through them, and so it sets up a really misleading thing. And I know for myself, I really internalized and made myself feel really bad about myself because I wasn't getting these testimonial like results. But now that I understand, I'm like, oh, okay, that's I can give myself a little more grace, you know?
Yes, exactly. So that's what I always say. When you're starting from scratch, or like, from after just a few months,
Mhm.
results are not going to happen overnight. You have unicorn clients, like why not? Let's also be, open for that. And, they might happen, but especially if you're launching a group program, I think one to one is a little bit easier. You can get one to one client fast, or a done for you service fast. Let's say you're doing a website or a branding and so forth. But if you want to grow your audience and launch a program, it takes a bit longer if you're starting from nothing. So we
Yeah.
have to be totally realistic, and it takes work. It does
It,
take work.
yes, 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 absolutely. Well, I think you have a live scheduled in your group right now. Is that right?
Alive, what do you mean? Sorry.
I saw something in your group earlier, and I thought, oh, well, she's going live in here directly after me, but maybe I'm confused.
No, I've done it already this
Oh,
afternoon.
wonderful. Well, I've got to run because I have another appointment at 2 o'clock my time. I know it's later your time. Thank you so much for being here today. And we can put in the comments how to, of course, you can contact her on Facebook. We'll put in the comments her Facebook group. And where would they find out? Where could they go to apply for the next run of your group program?
DM me, send me a message.
Okay.
Send me a DM message via Messenger. Yes, DM.
Perfect. Well, Cynthia, you have been lovely as always. I appreciate you. I love the work that you're doing. And guys, any questions you have, get in touch with Cynthia, and we'll have you back. See what you're up to in a few months.
Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you. I
You're
love this.
welcome. Enjoy your vacation.
Yay! Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.